Maintenance of box NHL, BCNHL wagons, and the introduction to box NS wagons. Okay, as you know that with the economy of India growing at a very healthy pace, normally the freight traffic has naturally been growing too. Freight is a profit-making business segment of Indian Railways. As you all know that it is a bread and butter of Indian Railways and backbone also. Revenues we are getting from various sectors like coal, iron, and steel, or various ores and petroleum products and essential commodities such as food grains and other fertilizers, cement, and all. Okay, here Indian Railway carries more than 35% of the total freight traffic of the country. Our target is 50%. 50% in coming 2 years we have to reach 50% of total freight traffic should be under Indian Railways. For that sake, we are striving hard to capture the market. Now, at present, two-thirds of our revenue comes from the transportation of goods traffic only. The other portion will be from passenger and other sundry earnings. Uh, okay, to capture the market, we have to be friendly. We have to fulfill our customer requirements, like to design various wagons to meet the customer requirements. A quantum jump in the unit wagon capacity is need of the hour. Okay, one more thing is we have to reduce our tare weight of the wagon and increase payload to the tare ratio. And all our wagon stock should be switched over to 22.9 ton axle load wagons from 21.3 ton, and effort to bring lighter and corrosion resistant materials like IRSM 44. Earlier we were used IRSM 41 and IS 2062. Those are corrosion prone. To give more life and less maintenance and light in weight, this IRSM 44, that is ferritic steel, is to be used on our all wagon stock, mostly open wagons and covered wagons. In addition to that, to improve the payload to the tare ratio of wagons. Just you can see here, box and wagon was 2.5. When payload to the tare ratio going on increasing, we can achieve more commodity transported. Throughput will be more. If you compare with box NH and box NHL, here nearly 1% has been increased. Here BCN 1.99 to 3.4, and not percentage, it is increased to times, one time increased here. Here 1 point, approximately 1.5 times increased our payload to the tare ratio. uh, okay, introduced box NHL, BCNHL in the year 2007. Main constraint is our box and wagons, BC and wagons are more prone to corrosion because of we were used most of the stock with the IS 2062 mild steel. In the afterwards, we were started using IRSM 41 cotton steel, but it is also not giving sufficient results. So we are switched over to IRSM 44 from the year 2007 onwards by the way of box NHL and BC NHL design of wagons. Mainly continuous exposure to our wagon stock, mainly continues to exposure to moisture and air and high temperature regions it is playing, and repair practices resulting in localized heating. Sometimes we are not using proper current. If you use more current also, it will deteriorate our metal wagon's body, and it may lead to corrosion. And loading unloading practices resulting in damages to the employed surface protection, like especially box and wagons. Box and wagons are more prone to damage while loading and unloading practices. If you monitor properly, railway board has given instructions where the private sidings are there. They must unload with JCBs by, but the JCB bucket should not have any teeth, and the edges of the bucket should have rubber beading so that heating of the metal's wagon body surface will be lesser. And one more thing, they have to left 1 feet from floor level commodity, whatever the commodity like coal or any ore, gypsum, whatever it may the commodity, that should be left 1 feet from the floor. Up to 1 feet, from top to up to 1 feet, we have to clear the, we have to unload the wagon with the help of JCB. Later, the remaining residual portion should be cleared with the man labor. Okay, that has been given instructions, but sidings might have not following properly, so damages are increasing. uh, the damages further lead to the surface, it may destroy our surface protection as well as increase corrosion. And incorrect and inadequate surface protection are the main causes of propagation of corrosion. One more thing, we are not applying surface protection inside the wagon. Normally outside of the wagons we are giving surface protection paint coat in during POH. Afterwards it may not be attended in ROH attention and all. So these are all, insufficient surface protection may lead to the corrosion. So to overcome all this, railway board has decided to implement this uh, corrosion resistant steel to tackle the corrosion resistant raw material for fabrication of wagons. That material should be free to weldability and easy of fabrication, formability, bending, cutting, and all should be easier. And availability of the chosen material, raw material, besides the cost point of view, it should not be too expensive. Okay, for that sake, Indian Railway has introduced the use of ferritic gate stainless steel, that is IRSM 44. IRSM 44 is the ferritic steel that will have chromium rich. This IRSM 44 is chromium rich metal. It will be used on box NHL and BCNHL wagons. Normally, if chromium rich metal will delay in getting corrosion. If you see in the graph, for example, 8% of the chromium added in steel, it will delays the corrosion. Here this y-axis here mentioned that mm per year. The cross section, the metal cross section will get the corrosion 0.025. Here you can take 0.0125 only. Point, if there is no chromium, it will get corrosion more frequently means it will, in lesser in time, it will catch the corrosion. To overcome the corrosion, we have to add the chromium in the stainless steel material. If you going on increasing the chromium quantity in stainless steel, it will delay, and it delay the corrosion to the metal. Here, By using stainless steel, what are the benefits achieved and we are achieved? Less corrosion. So less corrosion means reduce in maintenance and reduction in tear weight. Moreover, thickness of the steels. Normally boxen will we are using on boxen wagon, mild steel boxen wagon we are using 5 mm. Side body thickness is 5 mm, whereas here comes to boxen HLE is a 1 mm less reduced. So floor thickness of the metal for boxen wagon 6 mm, here in boxen HL 5 mm. So automatically weight of the body will be reduced. You can achieve the failure to tear ratio will be more. Okay, here in another advantage is less fuel consumption in empty running because of reduced load. Need not to attach more locos and multi is not required, and less requirement of loco crew and path, and the extra line capacity available, which will clear the section easily, costly, and less incidences of out of course repairs. There is no corrosion, automatically maintenance duration of the maintenance will be reduced. And throughput enhancement, the throughput enhancement is linked to the failure to tear weight. Failure to tear weight ratio is linked to throughput enhancement. Because of the reduced weight of the wagon, we can transport more commodity at a given point of time. Okay, this box NHL designed in the year 2006. Mainly, it has to transport more load, okay, more commodity. For that sake, we have enhanced the axle load capacity from 21.3 to 22.9 ton axle load for both box NHL and box NHL wagons. It is the first all stainless steel open wagon with the 22.9 ton axle load. It was designed in the year 2006. Railway Board placed orders for procurement of box NHL wagons in the year 2007. Superstructure all stainless steel for reducing weight and corrosion. Superstructure main body will be stainless steel. Improved quality coupler and drop gears. Initially they were used WD 48BD028, and at present we are using WD 71BD15 for drop gears, and couplers WD 70BD15. Revision 2. Here lower brake block force with K-type composite brake blocks. Instead of using brake blocks, L-type brake blocks in box NHL and BC NHL, we are using K-type brake blocks. And rake throughput increase from 22.25% over box N. And additional earning per rake per year is 3.84. These are the advantages with the implementation of box NHL. And coming to BCNHL, BCNHL is the first all stainless steel covered wagon of 22.9 ton axle load. It was designed by RDSO in the year 2006, and 2007 onwards we are getting the wagons. This CBC is provided on both the box NHL and base NHL wagons are complete assembly of upgraded high tensile center buffer coupler WD70. At present we are using WD70BD10. Okay, this is upgraded high tensile center buffer cover. Normally UHTE is stenciled on the side body of the wagon, so that these wagons are fitted with WD70BD10. And in addition to that, high capacity drop gears of specification, RDS for specification WD71BD15 revision 1. These are at present we are using on box NHL and BCNL wagons. By using this superior quality of CBC couplers, we reduced train potting cases and knuckle failure cases also. You might have observed the thing. And in addition to this, box NHL and BCNHL wagons, initially they have started manufacturing with single pipe, but box NHL especially. and BCNHL started with twin pipe brake system. Subsequently, all the wagons are manufacturing with twin pipe brake system. So, some of the advantages are with twin pipe brake system. It may reduce wheel scabbing because of brake bending cases will be reduced. So the train potting cases also reduced. Uh, Driver feel more comfort in application and releasing of brakes. So, in this box NHL wagons, one other item introduced with along with bogie mounted brake system. Here it is a automatic pressure modification valve. This automatic pressure modification device is interposed between bogie side frame of Casna bogie and the under frame of the bogie. Actually, it is fitted onto the under frame of the bogie, and this its arm. This unit will be fixed to the side body of the wagon, and this arm will touch to the side frame of the Casna bogie on mid portion. It is fitted for achieving two-stage load braking with automatic changeover of brake power. Normally, this activity was carried out by earlier empty load gearbox, empty load gear, device that is replaced with this automatic pressure modification. This will be provided on each wagon. Only one APM is required per wagon, and it restricts the brake cylinder. Normally, in case of empty wagons, the pressure goes to brake cylinder will be 2.2. This will be fitted in between distributor valve and brake cylinder. So when the arm touches around 140 mm, there is length between the side frame and the arm. Okay, arm touches, then gap is if 140, then that time the 2.2 kg cm square will be sent to the brake cylinder, the in empty condition. Whereas if loaded, the length of the arm will be reduced to the 80 mm. In that time, the brake cylinder pressure will be 3.8. Full brakes will be applied during load condition, and less and sufficient brake power will be an empty condition. The sensor arm of the APM device come down for sensing only during the brake application. The complete movement of the sensor point is 104, sorry 140 అని చెప్పాను 104. The first 80 mm of the sensor point is for the loaded zone, and the balance for the empty zone. Up to 144 104, first 80 is the loaded zone. If touches at 80 mm, the full brake power will be sent to the full brake power means 3.8 kg per cm square will be sent to the brake cylinder. So the firm brakes will be applied. It has an indicator to show the empty or loaded position also. Whenever the indication is on, that is, it is showing the orange color, it is indicating the empty condition with brake cylinder pressure is 2.2. When there is no indication, it is low. It means the wagon is loaded condition. The brake pressure will be 3.8. Okay, these Box NHL and BCNHL wagons have been provided with BMBC brake system with twin pipe brake power, and the APM empty gear has been eliminated, and hand brake system provided on ends of the wagon body. Handbrake system, handbrake wheel has been provided end of the wagon. Okay, if you compare the wagon with the BCN and BCNA and BCNHL, the length has been decreased by 3.4 meter, and overall width increased by 250 mm, and inside width is by 401 mm. Inside height will be increased by 347 mm. Height from rail level is increased by 288. Cubic capacity 10.9, and Tail weight of the wagon is reduced by 3 tons, 3.75 tons. So, tail weight of the BCNHL is 20.8, 28.8. So, it has increased the payload to tail ratio. and number of wagons have been increased. Actually, BCN wagon was 13.5 to length, whereas BCNHL is 10.034. We can accommodate more wagons, approximately 14 more wagons in a rake, so that we can transport more commodity comparatively with the BCN rake, that is 1610 more rakes per 1610 more tons per rake. This is the advantage over BCNA. These are all superlatives will lead to get more revenue for railway. Coming to box NHL and box N and box NHL, here also length has been increased by 250 mm and overall width in by 50 mm, and inside width is 72. Inside height also increased by 78. Height from rail level is 68. Cubic capacity has also been increased. Tare weight of the wagon here also decreased to get more payload to tare ratio. The reduced its tare weight. Payload per wagon in ton 71.0, so that we are transporting 58 wagon rake. It will around 750 metric tons will be loaded at a time. This is the advantage over boxen. Okay, periodicity. When we have to mark POH or ROH, that was confusion earlier, but it is clear that up to first POH of box NHL wagon, up to first POH, ROH will be 24 months. After first POH, ROH will be 18 months. Whereas BCNHL is the same, similar to our BCN wagons. Coming to POH, this first POH will be 6 years, subsequently 4.5 years. Similar, same in case of BCNHL, it will be similar to BCN wagon. Okay, after it introduced over 13 years, introduced box NHL, BCNHL, and over Indian Railways. In the past 13 years, you might have faced some problems with this stainless steel bodied wagons. Normally, it is not habituated with our staff like fitters and welders, because steel IRSM 41 44, that is ferritic steel, ferritic stainless steel, will give some problem, some maintenance issues. Maintenance issues like cutting. Normally, we use it to cut our mild steel or cotton steel sheet with the help of oxyacetylene cutting. Okay, but whereas stainless steel, it is not so easy to cut with oxyacetylene. Okay, it will refractory index will be more, so we could not get the uh, equal straight cut, and moreover it may chances are there to damage or deteriorate the material properties of the stainless steel. So it is not advisable to cut stainless steel material with oxyacetylene cutting. So each and every depot and workshops and maintenance sick lines and yards, we have to procure the equipment that is a plasma cut. Plasma cutting provision should be provided in all yards and depots and workshops, so that we can easily cut the stainless steel sheet. Straightening is also difficult. Okay, now in case of mild steel, it is a ductility is more, so that we can easily bend, we can easily get whatever we require shape. But here in stainless steel, it is difficult to bend easily, and get if a bent sheet get it into original shape is also difficult. And coming to welding of SS, this stainless steel welding is this stainless steel welding requires more skilled welders. For the sake, we have to train up our welders and we have to develop the skills on them in them. And penetration, weld penetration is, to get weld penetration is not so easy. So surfaces of metal, stainless steel metal, should be cleaned thoroughly, properly. There should not be any dirt or muck or grease and oily surface. Before welding, preparation is also required to get proper weld strength. And patch repairs. Here one more problem: patch repair. Normally the mild steel patches will be abundantly available in our yard or cyclone depot, wherever, but it is difficult to get a stainless steel patch pieces near and around. So normally box NHL wagon with any damage, small patch required on box NHL wagon. In that case, workmen stock will be easily get that meme sheet that should be kept on to cover the damage area. It is not advisable. We the supervisors, we have to monitor and guide them, educate them to use only stainless steel patches. Here stainless steel patches, before they are using, they we have to provide enough patches, enough offcuts near and around the working area, so that they can use stainless steel sheets only to cover the damaged surfaces. Okay, if you use mild steel, dissimilar joints between stainless steel and carbon steel, automatically what will happen? The chances of corrosion starts from carbon steel to stainless steel. So the main idea of corrosion free maintenance of wagon will be defeated. So we have to try to guide the staff as well as welders to use only stainless steel patches. Okay, coming to very particularities in stainless steel. Carbon steel rusts when exposed to air and moisture. Normally carbon steels like mild steel and cotton steel will get easily corrosion if it is exposed in the air or in the moisture. But if the same steel, if added with chromium, if rich with chromium, then automatically it will be formed as self-healing chromium rich oxide surface over the metal surface. If you add the chromium rich oxide inside in steel, it will form on its own self-healing chromium oxide rich oxide surface film. For chromium exposure to atmosphere means oxygen. Oxygen, if it exposed to oxygen, it will protect on there its own. So it is a invisible and adherent and self-healing chromium rich oxide surface film over the steel surface. So chromium, that is ferritic steel, chromium rich oxide, ferritic steel will have chromium so that it will protect on its own. So we try to expose to our wagon body should be exposed to the air, should be more. Okay, normally it will be, if any patch covers that surface, if any gaps, if you are doing a right round welding over the patch, if any gaps or any porosity in welding may lead to corrosion inside portion. So whatever the covered portion, the behind the covered portion will get the corrosion easily, because sufficient oxygen will not be there inside, and moreover water ingress will be there, so it may lead to the corrosion. Okay, while doing patchwork, we have to take enough care that whatever the welding we are doing on the particular patch, firm welding right round the patch should be done. uh, Another peculiarity of stainless steel is this chromium added to the steel, it will automatically called as stainless steel. This stainless steel will be tough because chromium oxide layer is tough. So the tough chromium oxide layer also comes into play during the repair while cutting. especially in cutting. In conventional carbon steels, cutting will be done by oxy cutting process, oxyacetylene cutting process. In case of stainless steel, it is not possible, and it is possible, but it will not be advised. It will not be advised. Moreover, we could not get correct cut, and moreover, it will deteriorate its material properties if you cut with steel cutting. High level of chromium cannot be cut by simple oxy cutting methods due to the refractive nature, very high melting point of the chromium oxide, which is formed as a top layer. It is a very high melting point, so that we are going on exposed our oxy jet to that surface of the metal. So this going on heating means it will deteriorate chromium oxide layer. So the properties will be given up. So ferritic stainless steels are generally limited to service temperatures. Normally, while doing welding, also we have to maintain 400 degrees centigrade due to the formation of, if you going behind that, embrittling phases, which may also participate during welding. The scam the this ferritic stainless steels are advised to cut with the plasma cutting. Um Audioso has introduced before box NHL wagons. It was introduced in this SS side body on box NR during box N during rehabilitation, and in addition to that, box NHL and BCNHL introduced with this stainless steel IRSM 44. Some of the sections on underframe will have this IRSM 41. Okay, the wagon body and underframe are made of higher grade steel, that is IRSM 44. Some locations an underframe IRM 41 steel, and CRF sections. The cutting, straightening, welding, repairing procedures are slightly different than plain carbon steel wagons. It will have some skillness to handle the stainless steel materials, and it is important to understand that SS wagon structural members, body panels, and other components that form part of the wagon structure, then corroded and damaged parts should be necessarily be repaired or replaced with similar grades of steel only. Similar grade means the same IRSM 44. If the body of the wagon is IRSM 44, we have to use the patch also IRSM 44. Some are the locations where with the patching with the mild steel. Here this one is here it is. Okay, some of the locations are patched, but nowadays we started procuring stainless steel materials, stainless steel ferritic IRSM 44 material in the depots and as well as yards. So that earlier practice was the mild steel patches were provided. We are restricting, and we are using this stainless steel patch. Okay, to handle the stainless steel wagons and the stainless steel maintenance, we need minimum requirement. Minimum requirement is MIG, metal inert gas welding, or metal active gas welding, or DC arc welding. They This MIG mag welding mostly suitable to ROH depot and workshops, whereas in the sick line and open yard, in the yard lines, we need DC arc welding rectifiers. Okay, freight yard maintaining 3 rakes per day, we need at least two numbers. These are the figures here mentioned, at least two freight two MIG-mag or two DC arc welding. And if you maintain 5 wagons in sick line per day, we have to procure two MIG-mag weldings or two DC arc weldings. చెప్పండి, PPT not visible. 1 second, 1 second. Now okay. Please. Now okay na. Right. Here In case of RYH POH depots, they are handling 200 wagons per month. At least we need 3 MIG-MAG weldings or 3 DC-arc weldings. Okay, here 3 in addition to 3 we have to provide, and portable air plasma cutting machines. Portable air plasma cutting machines are required here to cut the damaged portions or any sizable plates. We need portable air plasma cutting. Okay, for that sake, we have to lay the pneumatic line, as well as electric power line along with our rack. In case of open line, yard. In case of sick line, we have to provide. Okay, normally for airbag testing we have will have this pneumatic line, but one dedicated line is required to handle the air plasma or cutting. One is pneumatic line and electric line is required for, we have to provide dedicatedly so that there is no disturbance while doing maintenance. For that sake, we have to create the facility so that uh, staff will be feel happy to use this air plasma cutting machine to handle the stainless steel wagons. And in addition to that, we have to keep sufficient spares consumables for air plasma machine like torch. Normally, if a skill cutter welding weld cutter, uh, the torch will be give more duration, but beginning it will time to time it will touch the metal, so erosion of the torch will be frequently. So we have to keep sufficient tips and catalyst and all this material in our depot sufficiently in our source. And coming to welding electrodes, this exclusively we have to use electrodes, M2 class electrodes we have to use on stainless steel welding, whereas SS to MS in underframe some areas, underframe floor sheet and cross beams. Cross beams will be cotton steel, floor sheet will be SS IRSM 44. So here dissimilar welding. Dissimilar welding we have to use D class weldings, the D class electrode, and MS to MS we normally will have C2 class. Um, Especially join stainless steel to stainless steel body M2 class electrodes, we must use. We have to insist the welder to use the M2 class electrodes for stainless steel welding. Some locations where plasma cutting is not possible. Okay, already this oxide silicon we should not use. Then that time some areas we have to cut with the electrode. In that case, we have to use N1 electrode. N1 electrode for cutting SS steel plate. Okay, these are the infrastructure required in our working area, like yard or sick line and ROH or POH shops. In addition to that, okay, some areas we are using lock bolting. If you are maintaining uh, many wagons, there we need to keep this facility, and we have to train up the staff in using lock bolt and as well as joining the steel thickness. If the thickness is more than 6 mm or 8 mm sheets, we have to use lock bolt equipment. And a portable grinding machine. As soon as completion of our manual metal arc welding, normally we use it to do in the open line MMAW. In that case, after as soon as completion of the welding, we have to grind the surfaces portable grind with the help of portable grinding machine. Here dedicated grinding machines are required, wheels are required, because wheels and discs, these are the areas where contamination will be there. If you use the same disc for other mild steel surface, then afterwards if you use that same wheel disc to the stainless steel, the contamination of the metal will be there, so there are chances of corrosion. Okay, we have to avoid. For that sake, we have to keep dedicated grinding wheels sufficiently, and stainless steel wire brushes. It is another important area for cleaning. Before welding, after welding, we need steel wire brush. So so that we have to use the steel wire brushes where bristles of the steel brush should be stainless steel. We should not use normal ms brushes. And we have to keep IRSM 44 and IRSM 44 one plates, sheets, and CRF sections. CRF sections, cold roll forming sections, which are already available in the market, like Penor steels and other areas. They will have. We have to get the CRF sections because bending is a difficult task, and proficiency and accuracy in bending is difficult in our open line. So we use it to get the CRF sections from the open trade. So for that sake, non-stack indents have to be placed to get a CRF sections, as well as sufficient IRSM 44 plates. We should not depend on workshops for the sake of IRSM 44. We have to directly procure non-stock indents by placing a non-stock indent IRSM 44 plates should be procured, and as well as CRF sections of stainless steel. Okay. Next, coming to some of the sections here I have shown. These are this is sophisticated bending. This is much of accuracy we may not get. This is the door channel of BCNHL. The thickness of this one is 2.5. Okay, now it is increased. I might have increased it to 4 mm, but here this thickness of the material, it is difficult to get, difficult to bend. Okay, for that sake we have to procure from the market. And door frame stiffener and stringers and door channel, uh, straight stanchions, and doorway stiffener, crossbars, end top coping, door frame top, door frame channels. These are the components will be used on BCNHL much. Namaskar. And on box NHL, normally box NHL here, so many components are not there, but especially on BCNHL, because of the thickness is less, the bending and the thickness is less, and up to 7 mm it is difficult to bend stainless steel, so that we have to procure from the market is easier by placing non-stock units. Okay, coming to the maintenance issues, the inspection maintenance activities. Normally, we use it to conduct inspection first. Then, whatever the damaged portion, that should be cut with the help of plasma cut, and wherever the bent portion is there, that should be get into straighten with the help of various gadgets. To handle stainless steel wagons, we have to develop various gadgets in our depot premises and as well as workshops, so that workmen may not feel fatigue while getting the bent portion to original shape. So we have to develop sufficient gadgets to handle the wagons. Replacement of the sheets, that should be 100% with the similar metal. Okay, in case of handling IRSM 44, we have to replace with IRSM 44 only. And welding is the important activity in handling wagons, whether it is mild steel or stainless steel. But here we have to we have to pay more care while handling welding, while handling SS wagons during welding. More skills are required, so that we have to send our welders to get the qualification certificate in stainless steel wagons, and as well as stainless steel coaches. And as soon as completion of the welding, some areas required painting, then we have to do the application of the one coat of paint. Okay, we'll see one by one. Inspection, thoroughly inspector for locating cracks, bent, damaged, corroded members, because this stainless steel wagon will not have that much of ductility. So if sudden impact may be happened onto the bogie or floor, it may puncture the plate. Okay, to overcome, to see whether the some impact loads, sudden loads, some locations, vulnerable locations where we may not see easily, that areas also should be thoroughly inspected. because we should not believe the stainless steel body. The cracks developed may rapidly, so due to impact loads. So thorough examination in the yards is very much important. And under frame members, especially under frame members and body, and importantly sole bar is important item, where sole bar of the this box NHL will be thickness 6 mm. This sole bar channel should be checked during our inspection. And cross stringers and longitudinal stringers. These longitudinal stringers are 4 mm, and sole bar is 6 mm. It's stock fabricated from IRSM 44 only. Side stanchions and side body sheet, as I have told, 4 mm thickness side body sheet we are using. And middle copings, which are also thickness of 4 mm plate. Side top coping, which normally the thickness will be, side top coping will be 7 mm. Doorway stiffening crossbar, it is a doorway stiffening and door locking bolts and hinges. Doorway stiffening crossbar will be 4 mm of thickness. Okay. Doors, doors also stainless steel one. Door sheet thickness also 4 mm. And the corner stanchions will be, these are anglers we are using on our box and natural wagon, is having 8 mm thickness, 110 by 110 mm anglers. And end stanchions will be thickness of 4 mm, 200 by 125 4 mm thickness. End stanchions will be used on box and HL wagon. And end top coping will be 4 mm, and end body sheet will be 4 mm thickness, and floor plate will be 5 mm. Okay, we can go with 4 mm also. Okay, these are the areas you have to concentrate more, especially sole bar and this center pivot tops. Center pivot tops are also important, because center pivot tops will not be welded, it will be lock bolted with the body bolster. So here the puncture of lock bolts is also we experienced. So we have to thoroughly examine the center pivot top plate lock bolts. And in another area, center seal is the backbone of our wagon. So center seal will be checked thoroughly. Earlier in olden days, if any cracks developed on center seal, you have to condemn the wagon in case of mild steel. But recently they have instructions given that center seal should be repaired in the workshop, not in the open line. It should be in the center seal of box NHL, BC NHL will be handled in the breakage of the center seal, or fracture developed on the center seal will be handled in workshops. Separate instructions have been given. Whereas mild steel wagons, and if center seal broken on mild steel wagon, it will not be permitted. It has to be sent for condemnation. Okay, cracks in center seal, sole bar, and cross members we have to thoroughly examine. And breakage or failure of lock bolts, that has to be checked, especially in the center pivot tops. Okay, coming to maintenance activities in part 2, cutting. Okay, after inspection, cutting of the plate is the essential activity in our maintenance. Normally mega depots, the wagons which are dealing more box NHL wagons or BCNHL wagons must procure shearing machines. Okay, the shearing machines should be procured by depots normally which are available in the workshop, but major depots should get this shearing machine, so that the cutting will be so faster and easier. We could not pay more attention while doing cutting and straightening. So cutting to get the straight cut. For that sake, we have to procure shearing machines in the depots. Um, So here one more important thing, while cutting the plate you have to keep clearance in between the bottom and top blades. How much clearance you have to keep? In case of 3 plate, you have to be kept clearance 0.1 in case of 6 we have to keep 0.15. In case of 10 plate, we have to keep 0.25. If you keep more clearance for example 3 plate we are cutting, if you keep more clearance than required, means like point 2 or 3, then what will happen? The metal, first of all, it will not cut. If cut, it may get some edges in the plate sheet, so it may harm to the, it is injurious to our handling stock. So we have to maintain proper clearance during cutting of this IRSM 44 sheets. And as well as we have to develop skills in cutting with the plasma cutting machine. We have to develop skill on among our staff, either fitters and welder. Fast cutting speeds together with a clean smooth surface finish can be achieved with the help of plasma cutting machine. Then sufficient experience or training provided to the workman. Here another one is, due to fast cutting speeds, the heat affected zone is very narrow. That is, the heat affected zone should be very narrow in case of stainless steel material. Okay, so proficiency will be required more while plasma cutting as well as stainless welding of our wagon body. Any discoloration of the cut edge, any discoloration of the cut edge can easily be removed by grinding or by using stainless steel wire brush. Okay, sometimes you might have seen that while cutting, violet color will be developed, violet color will be emitted, the cutting surface where cutting zone. That should be scrapped with the help of stainless steel brush, white brush. So otherwise it may chances of getting corrosion there. So we have to clean the surface with the stainless steel brush, whatever the colored portion. Okay, next, for use of this cutting of mild steel, we have to use abrasive cut off wheels. Normally on grinders will have this grinder or cutters will have, if you have abrasive disc cutting, uh, we have to abrasive cuttings. For the sake of abrasive cutting, we have to procure abrasive discs. Discs, only dedicated disc should be used, and suitable control of the storage of this must be exercised. Whatever the disc used for cut off this mild steel, stainless steel, that should be kept separately. It should not be used for mild steel. Aluminum oxide discs of the vitrified or resinoid bonded types are suitable. Zirconia silicon carbide discs are not recommended, because zirconium will have, well, what happened? What happened? Keep your mobiles on mute, please. Okay, zirconium. Zirconium, where it will be used? Normally in nuclear power plants, zirconium tubes will be used, which will be fastly melted one, and it is prone to corrosion when properly handled, when not properly handled. So that zirconia silicon carbide discs are not suitable to cut the stainless steel sheets. That we have to keep in mind. And RDSO advised all these specifications which we have to use on stainless steel. And arc air gauging, sometimes we need to arc air gauging cutting as a suitable method cutting, provided the recommended settings are other two in order to produce actable cuts. All cut edges must be ground back to a depth of approximately 2 to remove the heat affected zone before further fabrication. Areas not subsequently welded must be descaled and passivated. Okay, normally arc air gauging we may not use, but we generally use plasma cut. And okay, wherever gauging is required, we are using N1 electrode. With the help of N1 electrode, we are cutting the plates. And another uh, processes are also advised by RDSO. powder cutting, slitting, cold sawing, blanking, and punching. Normally these are advisable to our mild steel sheet. Sorry, the IRSM 44 stainless steel sheet cuttings. But normally production units like Braithwaite, one standard companies will have these facilities. But whereas depots and shops are not required, this only they have to keep shearing machines, plasma cutting machines is required more. Um, Coming to straightening is also somewhat a difficult task with IRSM 44. Here it is notable that IRSM 44 requires greater bending capacity to straighten the steel members owing to its higher yield strength. Normally, capacity of the bending is reduced by 40% for bending IRSM 44 compared to mild steel. IRSM 44 generally expects greater spring back. When we are bending the sheet, we have to take enough care to bend the sheet, and we have to develop the various gadgets like hydraulically or manually operated tie screw pulling and hammering whenever possible by lightly heating the area with 150 degrees centigrade. We should not heat more than that. If you're going on heating, the properties of chromium will be deteriorated, so we should not heat more. Lightly we can heat and bend with the hammer uh, to get the straighten of the sheet. And another general information to handle this IRSM 44 stainless steel is whole underframe and superstructure is made of ferritic stainless steel of IRSM 44, except the end portion of center sill, which are made of mild steel IS 2062, and cross members of them are IRS M41. Here we have to use dissimilar welding. I have already covered in the other slide that joining SS to SS M2 class, if use MMAW welding, manual metal arc welding. Normal our conventional welding is called manual metal arc welding, where we can use M2 class electrodes for joining SS to SS. In case of MIG or MAG, metal inert gas or metal inert gas or metal active gas welding, normally this will be available in workshops and production units. There we have to use the spools of class 6 category. Class 6 category of weld spools, electrodes, weld wires should be used in case of MIG or MAG welding for joining SS to SS. Here, in case of SS to MMS, normally underframe activity will be with the SS to MS. There we have to use D class electrode. In case of MMAW, manual metal arc welding or conventional type of welding. In case of MIG, MAG, class 4 electrode wires will be available in class 4 that have to use. For the sake of MS to MS, C1 or A3 class and class 3 weld spools we have to use. These are the consumables we need to procure time to time with sufficient quantity we have to kept in our stores, sub stores. And another thing, one wrong concept, wrong impression that the SS electrode, if SS electrode will have expiry date. If expiry date crosses, the electrode should not be used in the field in welding. But this is a wrong thing, the wrong assumption that expired weld date. Expired means if you are not baking the electrode properly before using, that is baking or preheating of electrode not use preheating will not be done properly, that will cause hazardous to the workman. There is no expiry date for this the expiry date will lead to inferior quality of welding will get, but not hazardous to the workmen. The health and good environment of the working area, we must preheat the electrode so that all will be safe. and our weld bead also get good, and welding penetration will be also good. For that sake, each and every electrode we must preheat with the temperature around 110 degrees centigrade. And all our welders must be trained as per IS 7310 part 1. We normally in our open line, and some of the workshops are outsourcing welders, but whoever maybe, we have to get it certification of this IS 7310, because they will train up in the certification to how to handle SS welding, how to how to handle the SS wagons. Uh, Recommended welding practice: MIG, MAG, or MMAW. Normally, SAW and other things are not required here. In case of metal inert gas, metal active gas will be used in our ROH depots and shops. In SIG line and other areas, we are using MMAW. And welding ferritic SS needs special expertise. For that sake, we have to sent for training, because of its highly sensitive to heat input, and moreover chromium loss is a serious issue. If chromium losses on the metal means, automatically it will deteriorate its properties, so it will behave like normal smelt steel. So while maintaining the stainless steel welding heating, we have to take enough care, and meticulously using different types of electrodes as specified in WPS, welding procedure specification. WPS means welding procedure specification. As per WPS, which was given by RDSO, WPS was given by RDSO, we have to go accordingly. In case of SS welding, we have to use SS electrodes of M2 class, and both 3.15 mm dia and 4 mm dia electrodes use it to handle in our maintenance practice. Infrastructure is to be developed for proper storage and special care of absorption from floor. Whatever the spare electrodes that should not be keep on the floor, we have to keep it in on the flask. Portable flasks have been given to depots and workshops to various welders. So any leftover electrode that should be kept inside the welding electrode flask, portable flask. And SS wire brush chisel for SS welding. Not only electrodes, SS stainless steel sheets also should not be kept on the floor and should not be kept on the EMS racks. We have to take enough care that while stocking our stainless steel sheets IRSM 44, we have to keep in our stainless steel racks only. Okay, not in our mild steel racks. And wire brushes and chisel should be exclusively used for SS welding, that should not be used for any other MS steels. And edge preparation, wherever the edge preparation required, normally more than 6 mm, we need to we have to prepare the edge like slant shape. For example, butt welding, we need to form a V shape, and both ends should be slant. Here 6 mm, more than 6 mm, normally profile cutting machines will do like that, but here plasma cutting is already available. So while cutting the 6 mm or more than 6 mm material sheets, we have to keep the jet slantly, so that automatically you will get the slant portion at the edge. Avoids grinding and produce a better edge. We need not to go for grinding also. Just one go, we'll cut the sheet as well as get the edge, slant edge. And light dressing by grinding stone, not wheel, to remove oxide layer and from neck. Okay, wherever it is required, we have to grind with the grinding stone. All edges should be prepared before tacking the pieces together. Large amount of metal deposition may be avoided. This large amount of metal deposition means we have to maintain the arc. It is, should not be long arc or shorter arc, and as well as travel speed of the electrode should be maintained properly. and higher heat input affecting mechanical properties of stainless steel. Higher input always avoided while handling stainless steel sheets. Higher heat input should be avoided, whether it is keeping a current or you are getting to original shape from bent portion. Always we have to, in case of bent portion to original shape, you have to just mere heating is enough, like 100 to 150 degrees centigrade, not more than that. In case of keeping current, normally current rating how it will be depends. Normally electrode which thickness, which dia electrode you are using, that is the important thing. Normally welding manufacturer, electrode manufacturer will specify the uh, current. For example, 3.15 electrode we are using. Normally 120 amperes is enough, more not more than that we have to use. Okay. One thumb rule is there, below 2 mm we have to use 20 to 40 amperes. More than 2 mm, around 2.5, that thickness of the plate multiplied with the 40, automatically you will get the current rating. So you have to go with that current rating. And normally electrode manufacturers will specify on their packet. We have to go with the electrode manufacturer releases. uh, Preheating, okay, already we discussed preheating of electrodes. Preheating is highly important as it reduces hydrogen content of weld, responsible for delayed cracking. Okay, preheating uh, not only is a healthy environment, it is as well as it give more strength to the welding bead, welding joint, by reduces hydrogen content of weld. And this if it is, if electrode has hydrogen, what will happen after carrying out the welding activity? There are chances of cracking over the welding joint. So we have to go with preheating of electrode religiously. Electrode preheating ovens must be installed nearby workstations. For that sake, portable MOS may be provided to all welders so that they will use compulsory. A non-contact type pyrometer can be kept in the shop for cross-checking. Normally, non-contact type pyrometer. Okay, this will be already available in the rolling examination and roller bearing temperature testing. Okay, that may be kept in shop floor also. Whether the welding flask, inside the welding flask will be maintained sufficient temperature or not, that will be checked with the help of non-contact type pyrometer. Nowadays we are using widely to check the temperature of the human being in the crisis of COVID. Okay, likewise, you have to keep sufficient non-contact type pyrometers in the shop floor working area, so that whether flask is correctly maintaining temperature or not. Preheating temperature and time, the recommendation given on the packets by the packet manufacturer must be religiously followed. Welder should not take a bunch of electrodes. Whatever the electrodes left over, that should be kept in the flask only. Okay, should not be kept on the floor or wherever desk or their cupboards. Most of the welders, they use it to keep their leftover electrodes in their cupboards. Okay, if you keep the electrode in the open area, moisture area, automatically it will absorb moisture and it deteriorate its property. When you are going to weld that with a particular electrode, it will emit more smoke, more fume. So person near and around will get affected. It is hazardous as the near and around people. For that sake, we must preheat electrodes and procure flask type portable ovens. Each and every welder should be given with this portable flask type, portable flasks for electrode purpose, and plugged in at the actual work. Maintain temperature around 110 degrees centigrade. That should be cross checked with the help of uh, non contact type thermometers. individual electrode can be taken out from the portable oven and consumed as and when required. We have to keep out the we have to pick the electrode from the oven. That is good for welding. And basic qualification of welders should be checked. Mostly IT5 qualified should be engaged for welding. And the welding procedure specification calls for welders certified as per IS 7310 part 1. Welders must be trained in this specification. And normally outside agencies, private institutes, isa Badwani are providing. In case of our railway premises, advanced training institutes and Rainfall workshop also giving training. But we have to certify with this 7310. Some supervisors also need upgradation of knowledge, particularly in SS welding. SS welding, for the sake of SS welding, we have to depute the supervisors for training. Okay, lack of knowledge possibly leads to adoption of non-standard or shortcut method of working, and they may not advise down the line properly. So we have to send the supervisors to train up in the this SS welding practice, upgradation of knowledge. And welding workmanship following proper polarity. In case of DC arc weldings, the polarity is very much important. Normally, two types of polarities will be there. In case of if you handle with if you use with the DC arc welding, straight polarity and reverse polarity. Normally, reverse polarity where our electrode will be connected to the positive of the gun, positive of the holder, electric holder, and metal will be provided to the negative. Base plate will be the earth clamp will be provided on base plate. Okay, this polarity will give the sufficient weld strength when uh, reverse polarity. Whenever the electrode will have the clamp positive. If you keep the electrode positive, the 2/3 of current will be generated there, and 1/3 of current will be at the base plate. So if you want more current at the electrode, we have to keep the positive electrode will be positive. And if the thickness of the material is more, then you have to keep the positive terminal to the base plate. Okay, that way proper polarity will be works. So property it is only for DC arc weldings, but whereas AC arc weldings, it need not to worry because both are same and much higher welding current than recommended. Normally we should not keep more current. Whatever the specified by electrode manufacturer, that we have to keep according to the size of the electrode. And electrode if you going on keeping more current, the electrodes are becoming red hot, and totally unacceptable practice affects the mechanical properties of ferritic SS very stainless steel very adversely in a height affected zone, not a welding area that will be heated more. So the properties of the metal will be deteriorated. Also affects the quality of weldment. Okay, these are all we have to keep in mind. And we have to use a calibrated tongue tester to cross check the actual welding current, whether it is 100 or 120 or 140. And we can check OCV also. And welders should follow back tracing or whip back technique. While completion of the welding joint, you have to go back and come forward. That is the technique should be used in case of stainless steel welding. It will give the firm joint at the edge portions. And porosity undercut should be eliminated, avoided by cleaning the proper cleaning the material. We can avoid porosity. And we have to maintain proper current, then we can get the we can avoid the undercut. These are should be followed. And manipulators, wherever possible we have to use manipulator. So we have to accommodate the welder to do the welding downhand. So wherever the possible we have to keep the manipulators. um, and in plain lap joints of two sheets and door area 3-4 mm gap to be avoided. If you use manipulator properly, manipulators or jigs or fixtures, their chances of creating gap in between the joints will be avoided. And cleaning prior to welding is ensured. Welder shall remove all dirt, metal dust, etc. before welding. General guidance, generally adjusting OCV rather than current. Just we have to adjust the OCV. will achieve the current correctly. We have to set first current and then adjust the OCD. And the size of tack welds 30-40 mm. If the length of the welding is more, just you have to first you have to keep tacks in the distance of 350 mm. Normally electrode length will be 350 mm. You have to give first tack welds, then you have to go for full welding. And fitment of aluminum lugs on all electrode cable joints. Here one wrong practice is going on that to be avoided. The normally welders they join the joints, two cable joints, with the help of bare wire only. It should be avoided. If bare wire may lead to the leakage of current, and leakage of current will develop the heat. The heat will further develop, further destroy our cable, insulation cable. So sometimes it may be hazardous. So we have to insist them aluminum lugs should be used on each end of the cable. And by crimping aluminum lug properly, we can avoid the leakage of currents. Edge preparation by slant cutting, and procurement of tongue tester and pyrometer. Tongue tester for to check the current while doing the welding, and pyrometer to check the temperature inside the flask. How much the temperature will be there inside the flask, that should be checked. And all potable flasks or ovens, electrode ovens, must be calibrated time to time. And we have to give training of welders to and supervisors are also time to time in the as per WSP, welding procedure specification, WPS. And attention on major area of concern: preheating of electrodes, avoid high welding current, its preparation and fitment, training to the staff, and formation of welding inspection team. Where the welders are more, we have to form a team so that they can exchange their views and ideas to get a good quality of weld. Okay, another another joining of material is hot bolting. We have to train up this hot bolting techniques, how to handle the tools and power pack during hot bolting. Okay, coming to the BCNHL. Earlier, this BCNHL was designed. The width of the BCNHL was 3250. Okay, then whatever the doors provided, hinge type doors initially in generation 1, if you not close the doors, what will happen? There are chances of hitting fixed structures like signals or OHs, any other hydrants nearby the track will be destroyed. Okay, to so many complaints have been received. So much of detentions or damages have been happened. To overcome this, Rally Board has decided to keep sliding doors. That is the latest design, which is established, which is given instructions in the year 2012. All hinge type doors are replaced with sliding doors. Initially, this contract has been given to Texmaco for manufacturing of sliding doors for PCNHL wagons. Subsequently, whatever the available wagons, that should be retrofitted with the sliding doors in the workshops. Okay, most of them contract is going to be completed. Uh, this is the modification we have been extended on BCNHL wagons. Normally, this roller support bracket has been given strength, and a roller design of roller diameter of the roller design has been increased. Rain protector has been thickness of the rain protector has been increased. These are the modifications have been given to the BCNHL wagons. Uh, so for box NHL and BCNHL wagons, any doubts? So, easy method. Normally paint will be applied in the workshops. There is an instruction that whenever the mild steel wagon is there, normally BCNHL is also manufactured with mild steel. Huh? Then that case they have to stencil with MS or SS. Magnet. IRSM 44 will not get that magnet with the test with the magnet also we can test it, but normally they have to stencil with SS. This red oxide zinc chromate primer is applied on finished coat also. Red oxide zinc chromate finishing coat. In that case, they are used to give SS stainless steel wagon. SS rounded off in the one corner of the wagon. Here, one earlier it was Ferozi blue. Ferozi blue we were applied in the beginning of the box NHL and BCNHL wagons. And later on, we are starting with this due to the cost and another things. We are switched over to the this red oxide zinc chromate finish coat. So in that case, we have to stencil with SS in the case of workshops. Okay, another method is just you have to check up with the magnet only. Okay. Uh, hmm. ఇవ్వాలి ఇవ్వాలి రైల్వే తరపున కదా కాంట్రాక్ట్ ఇప్పుడు మనం మోస్ట్ ఆఫ్ nice actually most of our welding areas are outsourced by the way of wet leasing and dry leasing. What is the concept of wet leasing? What is the concept of dry leasing? Wet leasing means the contractor has to provide welding plant and other consumable other welding plant related one, not consumables, welding plant and welders. Then that is called wet leasing. In that case, we have to incorporate in our tender specification that whatever the welder is engaging must certified with this clause. Okay. Here one thing, if the certified welder will not come to our premises because we are giving normally 750, I think, 750 or 900 per day. Okay, whereas he will get, if in case of Ramagundam the nearby big establishment is NTPC, they are getting more than 1500 or 2000 per day, but where we are giving only some 750 or 900. In that case, we may not demand, but it is mandatory that welder must be trained in our specification, especially to handle SS wagons. Whereas MS wagons, okay, anybody can do easily, but in case of SS wagons, it is sufficient skill is required. You might have experienced, the sufficient skill is required, so penetration of the welding is also poor in case of SS welding. Whereas mild steel welding, okay, we automatically will get. For that sake, year after, whatever the tender specifications, we must insist them to get the certified welders. Okay. Any doubt? Please. ఏంటండి ఏది మన పవర్ పాయింట్ వాట్సాప్లోనా సార్ పంపిస్తారు, వెంకటాచారి సార్ పంపిస్తారు. అది మనకు మొత్తం ఇది ఇప్పుడు ఇవన్నీ పవర్ పాయింట్స్ అన్ని ఉన్నాయి కదా, ఒక ఫోల్డర్ కింద చేశారు, మీకు 1 by 1 పంపిస్తారు. ఓకే, నో వరీ. ఓకే ఇక వన్ స్మాల్ ఇంట్రడక్షన్ టు బాక్స్ అండ్ ఎస్ వ్యాగన్స్, సమ్ ఫ్యూ స్లైడ్స్ ప్లీజ్ కోఆపరేట్. Okay, this is a new design. Hello, please. New designed 25-ton open wagon. Okay, just these wagons, box and wagons, have been all introduced in our Indian Railway in the year 2016 and 17. Okay, just you just guess that after 10 years of experience with Box NHL and BCNHL, this stock has been introduced. Okay, with to transport more commodity. Okay, what is the tear failure to tear ratio of Box NHL? Tear payload to tear ratio. 3.4. 3.4. Yes, exactly. Here we are getting 4. This with the help of 25 ton open box and X wagons, we are increasing our payload to tear ratio is 4. 4 means if you going on increasing payload to tear ratio, please keep mute. Please keep mute. Please keep mute. Noise is coming. ఎవరో మ్యూట్ పెట్టలేదు. హలో, ప్లీజ్ కీప్ మ్యూట్. బాగా నాయిస్ వస్తుంది. Okay, coming to our slide, Box NS wagons. Box NS wagons first introduced in the year 2016. Subsequently, they have started manufacturing bulk from May 2017. After introduction of this Box NHL wagons and BCNHL wagons, after 10 years, we are introduced this one to increase our payload to tear ratio, especially, and by increasing its axle load from 22.9 to 25 tons. So automatically it will get 100 ton. We can transport 100 ton. Gross load will be 100 ton. This tear weight of the wagon is reduced drastically because we are using here also stainless steel body. The thickness of the body is maintaining same. First, the railway board has been placed a order to Breathwaite. It is a public sector unit, Breathwaite and Bond Standard. And later on, we are giving extended to another companies also to manufacture box and S wagons. The wagon has high sides and end walls for higher volumetric capacity in comparison with our box and HL wagon. It is a open wagon. First introduced with doorless wagons, but some experience, some feedback has come to keep doors, so that we whatever the leftover commodity that will be seen, and moreover leftover commodity that will be cleared with the man by providing these doors diagonally. Okay, to increase the high sides to meet SOD as well as MMD, here reduced its wheel dia by 840 mm. Okay, because of to accommodate taller superstructure of the wagon body, and 16 suspension springs in each spring nest of the bogie. Here 16. Normally we have suspension springs 14 only, because 7 inner, 7 outer, 7 inner, uh, 7 outer, 2 snubber. Okay, here 16 suspension strings we are providing, 7 plus 7 plus 2. Then fabricated body is made up of IRSM 44 because of its rust free and better durability and low maintenance, as used in box NHL. Under frame structure is 2062. That is mild steel. This high strength micro alloyed steels have higher yield strength, higher notch toughness, good fatigue properties, excellent weldability, and good formability. The material used here is somewhat different with our box nature, because it will bear the load more. The whatever the material we are using, it will bear the load more, and it will give more superior quality of property which will extend its life, and formability, weldability also more comparatively with the box NHL and BC NHL wagons. And one thing, where box NHL and BC NHL wagons we are providing PMBS with a twin pipe. Here, twin pipe with conventional brake cylinder only. In box NS wagons, twin pipe with conventional cylinders along with slack adjuster, because of its cost effective and reliable in working. Okay, coming to 25-ton axle load, carrying capacity increased by 12.76%, resulting additional 535 tons. Additional 35 tons, metric tons, in comparison with the box NSL rate of 59 wagons. And initially it was doorless design, low maintenance and higher lifespan of the wagon, but subsequently they have introduced two 760 into 760 side doors located diagonally, and the loading of this wagon will be normally top loading, discharge will be normally in T plus, and the structure of the wagon will be like this. Okay, wagon is fully welded construction. There is no lock bolt and hug bolting and riveting technology for the side body. Here, wagon is fully welded construction with fishbone structure. This is the central seal and cross beams, and side stanchions are provided inside the wagon. Okay, you are seeing here the side body will be flat. Okay, there is no side stanchion visible here, but side stanchions are available, which are provided inside of the wagon. Okay, inside of the wagon, and joints from cross beam to stanchion will be like this. Okay, fishbone structure. It will hold the, this cross beam will hold the side stanchion like this, and will be joined with the help of welding. Okay, this is about box NS wagons. Thank you. Any doubt?